Just a second. Well, hello and welcome to the studio of Investor Site, media partner for Geiger Forum arranged by the National Academy of Economy and Public Administration. And I wonder, what's your overall opinion so far of the forum?
Well, first of all, it's an honor to be here. A pleasure to return to the Geiger Forum. I've had the great honor of participating for a number of years now. This is already off to a terrific start. This panel, where I just had the opportunity to participate, included the not just distinguished business teams, but also the president of PepsiCo for Russia and the region. I mean, fantastic mix of participants providing unique perspectives on business education. Now, I know GAIDAR does much more than that, but the sessions are always very crowded, good interchange with the audience, and a lot of interest and a lot of interesting information as well.
Great. And will you share your knowledge of the development of business education in Russia? I remember that quite a number of Russian institutions, schools, were in the process of joining your association. How far have you gone with that regarding Russian participants?
Well, great question, and I have the pleasure frequently of not just coming to Moscow, but St. Petersburg, and Nizhny Novgorod, and Kazan, and Yekaterinburg, and I visit wonderful and impressive faculties in business schools across this great country. There is growing interest in Russia. We have good membership across the country. We're very proud. In the last 6 months, we accredited at AACSB our very first Russian business school, and it's here, IBS, at RUNAPA. I'm also especially proud that the Dean of IBS and the Vice Rector of RUNAPA, Sergei Miasodov, is on the AACSB Board of Directors as well. So the country is well represented, and we have really growing interest in accreditation in our work with schools across the country.
Another question relating to the extended membership is the education you offer affordable for the people, well, both in this country and elsewhere? Because the fear many people may have is that good education is becoming less and less affordable for a growing number of people. And those people who cannot afford it are just left outside of the overall global process.
Right. Well, it's a very important question. We call this issue access. And this question is not a Russian issue, it's a global issue. And it's access to higher education. And it becomes a very, very critical concern of young people today. Well, first of all, across Europe, generally speaking, higher education is both affordable and accessible for great numbers of the population. As importantly, many providers of higher education in general and business education in particular are not only offering face-to-face traditional classroom instruction, but offering digital online options as well.
But so, can you, sorry to interrupt you, can you offer online education to the people who do not have access to internet?
Well, so I just spoke at this panel I was just on, and I just this week I was in Nigeria, 200 million people. Surprisingly, 87% of the population of that country have access to mobile technology. So one of the real challenges for educators today is to focus not just on delivering courses or programs or modules to a desktop or to a tablet, but more importantly now for accessibility to the smartphone. And this whole area of micro learning, we call it, where it's delivered to smart devices, is really the future of mobile delivery, because that's the one platform that is universally available in many places. So, on the other hand, I visit faculties, none here, but in developing countries, and I'll go to an aula, an auditorium, and sit in a lecture with 4,000 students. Now, these are countries that are doing the best they can, but that cannot be effective. If you're a young person seated in the back of that aula, I mean, that's impossible. So we've got to experiment with other modes of delivery to provide access. Access to, and you're exactly right, is not just can you afford it, can you pay, but is it in a manner where you can actually learn appropriately? And I think that world is changing today.
Education technologies, that's a subject much talked about
Sure.
these days. How do you see their development in the future? Will they come to every school? Will they come to every person? Or will they be restricted to certain areas of education, certain areas of knowledge, of institutions, of countries?
Hot topic, this whole issue of technology, education, and we love to talk about trends, but what does it really mean? And we're talking about everything from the micro-learning, from delivering to the smartphone, to artificial intelligence, to augmented reality, to virtual reality, and maybe everything in between, and lots of variations of that. Well, the reality is, interestingly, in much of Europe, there's not a lot of delivery outside of the traditional face-to-face instruction. Europe has been very cautious with leveraging digital technology, so that while you have schools like the Open University in the UK, with over 200,000 students, all virtual, you have many traditional institutions that say, no, you must come to the university, you must sit in the classroom, and we'll lecture. The reality is, the marketplace is changing, and higher education also must change. I'll give you an example. The dean a few years ago at Harvard Business School said, we will never, ever deliver educational programs digitally. Education is about face-to-face. Well, today, what's called HBS Online is one of the fastest growing educational enterprises in the world. And it's all about digital delivery. So the reality is, universities, business schools, faculties will embrace technology at different pace and at different times, and at times that they think are right for them. And sometimes it's because they have to. I visited a school recently in Cyprus, in Nicosia, small country, in a remote region of Europe. How do you grow? Well, they felt the only way to grow was digital. So they developed a master's in fintech around cryptocurrency, and now they have thousands of students around the world studying at the University of Nicosia in Cyprus. They may never visit, they may never see the campus, but they'll earn master's degrees or professional credentials because they focused on this one area. So it's different for different schools, and it will come in a different pace. But what I will say is you cannot ignore technology. It's here, and it's coming faster and faster and more sophisticated, and we need to embrace it.
Great. Thank you very much for sharing your ideas, and I wish you every success in expanding your educational systems all around the world, especially in this country.
Thank you.
And welcome back when you're here next year.
Thank you.
You know how to find us.
I look forward to that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.